Welcome to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. Grab yourself a slice, strap into the party wagon, and hang on tight. Give it up for your hosts, the Cowabunga Combo, Justin and Eric.
IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue number 23. Story by Kevin Eastman, Bobby Curnow, and Tom Waltz. Script by Tom Waltz. Art by Mateus Santaluco, with Dan Duncan and Ross Campbell, Andy Kuhn and Ben Bates, and Kevin Eastman. Colors by Rhonda Pattinson, with letters by Sean Lee and Tom B. Long. It says, the story so far, Shredder has struck hard at the Turtle family, gravely injuring Casey Jones and abducting Leonardo. We start off as they're driving in April's van. We're almost there, she says. I called ahead so they should be ready for us. She has Casey Jones in the back. Splinter and Raphael are tending to him as he's been stabbed in the midsection by the Shredder.
Let us hope they are, Miss O'Neill. He has lost much blood. I fear without proper medical care, he has little time. Oh God, Casey, says Raph.
We are nearly there, Master, says Alopex. Kitsune and her priest are standing by. Excellent. Unconscious Leonardo in the back with Karai and Master Shredder, and Alopex is in the front with the ninja driving. Into the emergency room. Screech goes the tires. April and Angel get Casey into a gurney. What happened, says one of them. What the hell's it look like? He was stabbed. I'll be just a sec, Angel, says April. Underneath a sheet was Master Splinter and Raphael. Coast clear, guys. I'm gonna head inside and see if I can help in any way.
Thank you, Miss O'Neill. We must go. Donatello and Michelangelo are searching for Leonardo, with orders to meet us at the lair in 1 hour.
They take off. Back to the Foot Clan. What do you require next, Grandfather?
There is nothing I need from you, Karai. You are both dismissed.
As they both bow to him, Alopex and Karai. Into the emergency room, we can see Hectic. Okay, take him to OR3 and get him prepped ASAP. I'll be there in 5 minutes, says the doctor. Casey looking very pale as they all kind of take the gurney down into the emergency room. Leonardo now placed on a gurney of his own. Quickly, you fools, as Master Shredder stands there with 3-foot ninja and Kitsune standing over him. Your friend's in bad shape, miss. Mind telling me what happened? Says the doctor. I already told you. The other guy, he got mugged and stabbed. Yeah, let me guess, the muggers had a sword, right? We've been getting a lot of that, these kinds of muggings lately. The sword kind? I'm just wondering what that is, he says. No answer, huh? Well, wait here if you want. I need to go save your friend's life. What do you say, Angel? Says April to Angel. Nothing good. Back to the Foot Clan lair.
You understand how important this next phase is, yes, Kitsune?
Of course. I will deliver the faithful and adept Chunin you desire, just as I conquered Death's dark dominion to bring you back to this new age, says CTMNT, History of the Foot. Our ultimate destiny is within reach, Saki, I promise.
My destiny, Kitsune.
Ah, just so, my lord, just so. Does Kitsune need assistance, Master? Says Karai.
No, Karai.
Now it shows in the operating room as they try to stem the damage of Casey. His shirt is now off, and you can see that it's pretty bad, and they're operating on his stomach. He's got a life support system on as the doctors are operating. Now to Leonardo, unconscious on a slab table with Kitsune above him. What comes next requires a singular mastery, possessed only by an extraordinary few. Back to the church for the Turtles and Splinter. Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo.
Father, Raph, is Casey? He's at the hospital, Michelangelo. The doctors have him now. And what of Leonardo?
Oh, we looked everywhere around the dock, Sensei, high and low. But this is the only clue we could find, as Donatello hands over his katana.
His sword? Then the foot... guys... That might not be the only clue. Check it out.
Written in orange paint.
East River, midnight, can help you. Hob.
Written on their wall. Great. Now we have to worry about Hob knowing where we live.
But what if he can help, like it says, says Mikey. Don't be stupid, Mike. This is Hob, remember? You don't even know he's talking about Leo. No, We do not. Yet I find it difficult to believe that the timing of this note is a mere coincidence. If there is even the slightest possibility that old Hob has information that helps us find Leonardo, we must heed his invitation. In the meantime, we can only hope that your brother remains unharmed wherever he may be.
In the ritual now, we see that there's incense and candles lit, as Leonardo strapped down upon the slab table.
So it is only you and I now, says Kitsune. I am called Kitsune.
As she places the mask on her face, she turns briefly into the fox.
What I am is beyond your mortal comprehension, and yet, despite appearances, I am nothing you need fear.
Takes off the mask and returns to her human visage.
I pose no threat to you. I am simply here to guide you, to uncover your eyes, and show you the true menace that lurks within the darkest shadows of your life.
Feverish, we can see that he's sweating as she takes off his blue bandana.
And reveal to you where your ultimate salvation lies.
In her hand, a glowing, ethereal sort of fireball as she puts it down onto him. She shows the fears. It looks like Splinter, who is kind of like a big hulking rat figure above him in a nightmare.
And where better to start, young Leonardo, than at the beginning of the lies?
Shows Leonardo being attacked after they mutated by Master Splinter.
My son, you need not fear. I have always protected you from harm, and you will always be safe with me in our home. Do you see? All is well. Father has even brought a gift for you.
He shows the Mousers attacking and a very scared Leonardo with his sword.
Where is your gratitude?
You said you would keep us safe. Help!
You disappoint me, my pupil.
Then, all of a sudden, into the nightmare bursts Master Shredder.
It is all right, Leonardo. I am here now.
You saved me.
A true sensei knows what is needed when danger approaches. Always action, never words. Now run, child, run, says him.
What? No.
Yes, Leonardo. You begin to see the broken promises, the empty words, the deeds of lowly vermin.
As he's being attacked by zombie foot soldiers and looks like mutated rats.
No, get away from me,
he says. Art style is shifted to the Leonardo Microseries, the Sophie Campbell art style.
Leonardo,
this way, quickly.
Master, he says.
Faster, Leonardo, to me.
I'm coming, Sensei.
And then it shows the scene of him when he bursts through the window.
Whoa.
Then, on the roof, where he fights that ninja that was clearly Master Shredder, it turns into a visage of Splinter, holding him by the neck, and then he drops him, and he dropped him into the garbage can, if you recall. But in this case, he's caught by the ninja, the very one that actually had done that to him. So it's quite confusing.
Fool, you are not aware of your surroundings. I have trained you so poorly. But father, you called to me. I did no such thing. Be strong. I have you.
Wait, that's your voice that I heard.
Yes, I was calling you away from the weakness that stifles your true potential. Now, leave it behind, he says.
Running through the sewers now, Leonardo takes off. Back to the hospital.
This stuff tastes like sludge, but at least it packs a punch. Seems like we've been here forever, and they still ain't telling us nothing, says Angel. Maybe no news is good news. He was hurt so badly.
Angel, there's something I want to ask you about, if it's not too personal.
Oh,
earlier tonight you said Casey's the only reason you're not in jail or dead. And well, I'm wondering what you meant.
Oh, that. Casey's old man and mine used to be a total badasses, and best friends, real tight. Anyway, me and Casey were born around the same time, and both our dads tried to get on the right track. My dad started running the Scar Bray, and Casey's dad did some construction. They stayed close, and me and Casey kind of grew up together. But then Casey's mom got sick, and his dad started boozing, big time, and it was way worse after she died. My mom, she got killed in a car crash, and well, I didn't handle it so good. Started running with the dragons, raising all kinds of hell, totally out of control. So Casey, he stepped in when it got really bad. Knocked some sense into me before I got into some serious trouble. Turned my stupid butt around before it was too late. I mean, he just lost his mom too, you know? And his dad was a train wreck. And still, took care of me when I was all screwed up. He saved me. Wow.
Ladies, you can see your friend now, says the doctor.
How is he, doctor? Says April.
It's too early to tell, but he's lost a lot of blood. But the transfusions should take care of that. The stab wounds may be another story. No vital organs were damaged, but he did suffer significant trauma, particularly to the abdominal region. He also showed signs of blunt force injuries to the head. Are you sure he was only stabbed? He plays hockey. Not anymore. Whether he's fortunate enough to survive or not, I'll leave you alone now. Pardon me, he says, as he sees Arnold, Hun, on the outside, waiting to come in. But Arnold is kind of ashamed, so he doesn't let April and Angel see him. Poor Casey. Do you think we should call his dad, Angel? I already called my pop at the bar to told him to pass the message to Casey's dad, but I think that worthless drunk will probably be too wasted to give a crap anyway. You know it ain't right, April. A good guy like Casey don't deserve to suffer like this. We see the expression on Arnold's face as he goes to go away. But that loser dad of his sure as hell does. We see Arnold, dejected, looking down, walks away, doesn't even go into the room, and leaves the hospital. Back to Leonardo in his fever dream. This is now the Andy Cunard style.
Yes, flee, but you cannot escape the truth. Like a monster seeking its prey in the night, the truth will hunt you down.
As now we see Slash is fighting him. I won't let you hurt my family.
I'll kill you and
says Slash. And then Splinter speaks.
What do you think you're doing, Leonardo? Sheathe your weapon.
But family is everything. I have to kill him.
No, foolish boy. You do not kill ever.
You're wrong. As it shows when he did stab Slash right through the chest. If you can't protect us, then I will. Where?
He's gone, Leonardo, but you have all the necessary means to defend yourself. This is never wrong. Take this,
as he takes the black bandana from Slash.
Take this as a reminder of what you have learned today. Strength is everything.
And now the art shifts again. It shifts again style.
And it would always be used to protect yourself and your clan no matter what.
Now as they fight the rock soldiers and they fight Krang, we can see in a fever dream, this is them when they were on planet Neutrino.
Help, Leonardo, please!
He's gonna kill us, dude!
Nobody messes with my brothers! Do you hear me? As he takes out one of the stone soldiers by smashing him in the face with his hand, knocking him unconscious. Nobody! And then sinks both swords into Krang. Holy, did you see?
Bye, Leo.
And then they're gone. Donatello, Mikey, and Raph in a whoosh of laser fire. No! How could you? As we see, it's actually a laser blast from Splinter, who's in a giant mech soldier, who's laughing. Ha 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 ha. How could you?
Because that is his nature, Leonardo. To fail you at each and every turn.
I did what I had to. I killed to protect my clan, but I failed too. They still died.
No, you acted as a true and loyal warrior, Leonardo, and it is because of that your true clan is not dead. The time has come to open your eyes with a boom to the truth.
Now we see on the rooftops, Splinter, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael are going to their meeting with Hob.
I think this is still a waste of freaking time. That freaking cat's nothing but trouble. Why the hell would he ever want to help us? I do not know, Raphael, but I believe we will soon learn the answer. Old Hob is there, just ahead. Move on with caution, my sons.
I think we left caution behind at the church, says Donatello.
Yo, Hob, you got 2 minutes before my better judgment kicks in. Didn't think you'd show,
says the cat, standing there smoking a cigar, eye patch, wearing a trench coat. Oh crap, is that...
Slash! I knew Leo didn't kill him, says Mikey.
And now we know how Hob found the church.
You can lower that hardware. We ain't here looking for a scrap, says Hob to Splinter. Then what is it you seek, old Hob? I'm looking to help you get back that lost pup of yours. A little bird told me where he is. Damn fleabag's just feeding us a bunch of bull. He don't know nothing, says Raph. You're wrong. Look, it ain't no secret we've had our share of squabbles, but that was then. And now, in case you haven't noticed it, things are getting pretty damn dicey in the city. Big old street war getting ready to blow up in everyone's faces. The time to pick sides is coming real fast, whether you like it or not, he says, looking on at them, with his orange eye gleaming. Still, we're all mixed up in someone else's fight. The stinking humans, being used and abused like their stinking little pets. to get them what they want, well, no more. The humans might need us, but we sure as hell don't need them. We're stronger, smarter, and better in every way. A mutant army would smash them in a heartbeat. That's why I asked you here. I want you in an army. Not under me, but with me. And to prove I'm legit, I'll show you where Leonardo is. You'll see real quick it ain't me and Slash you gotta worry about. It's humans. Always humans. Yep, I knew it. Nothing but bull, says Raph. Yet it appears we have no choice but to trust you, old hob. For now, take me to my son, and if it turns out you are not lying, and you will be able to retrieve him, then perhaps I will consider your offer. Hey, that's all I'm asking, he says.
Now, Kevin Eastman art style, we go back to the fever dream.
Where? I see you have returned alone, in utter failure.
No, you're wrong. You're the failure. All this time, all your promises to protect, to train, all the lies you pretended to be my master, my father,
and just like a trusting imbecile, you believed it all.
We see from the issue where he was dressed up as the clown, it's Master Splinter dressed in his clown outfit. Why lie to your own son? Why?
Fool, you are not my sons. My sons are dead.
The zombie versions of Raph, Mikey, and Donatello pop up out of the ground.
No!
As he attacks them, still not wearing a mask as they all come after him. He disarms the three of them.
I've had enough! Enough! Ah ha ha ha! A failure always. No, Hamato Yoshi.
As he's stabbed behind by the claws of the Shredder.
It is you who have failed. Do you see now the reality, Leonardo? The true monster behind the lies? The pathetic vermin who have had you perish through weakness and uncertainty?
Yes, as Shredder stands behind him, as they walk off.
You are ready at last.
Yes.
Master!
He wakes up from a fever dream. The arts return to the regular Mateus Santaluco style, as Kitsune, wearing her mask, holds Slash's black bandana above her hands as he wakes, with his eyes just completely startled. Leonardo's awake on the table, and it says, "To be continued," and that's the end of issue 23.
Hi, this is Adam, a.k.a. Casey Jones from Casey Jones Livewire, and you're listening to Epic Tales from the Sewers. Time for a knuckle sandwich, punk.
IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue number 24. Story by Kevin Eastman, Bobby Curnow, and Tom Waltz. Script by Tom Waltz. Art by Mateus Santaluco, with Mike Henderson. Colors by Rhonda Pattinson, with letters by Sean Lee. We start out with Karai, who's training with a katana. She has a red bandana on and a red waist belt. As she dances about with the blade, we can see she slashes through two of the straw dummies that are there.
Granddaughter,
says Rokosaki. She stands up and bows at her master, who's now not wearing his helmet or mask. Grandfather, I did not know you were watching me.
Your technique. Korean, yes? Gyobu?
Yes, grandfather, is one of the many forms I use when training.
I see,
he says as he looks over and puts his hand on top where she's slashed.
Training has ended for today. The time has come for us to use your katana for something more important than dancing about. Are you prepared for the coming battle with Yoshi and his brood?
Of course I am ready, Master Shredder. If I may ask, how can you be so certain the mutants will find us? He looks on with a smile. It says City Fall, Part 3. Now into a dream. Casey Jones lies in a hospital bed. We can see him shooting with a hockey stick into a goal. I knew I'd find you here, Casey. You always did hit the rink when things got rough.
Mom?
That slap shot of yours is getting pretty wicked, kiddo. You're definitely your father's son when it comes to muscles.
Mom, about Dad. I really tried to do what you asked, but, I promised, but he...
Shh. Your dad's no longer your concern, Casey. You did everything you could to help him, and I'm so proud of you. But he's on his own path now. You're not responsible anymore. And it's time for you to wake up, hun.
Mom, are you an angel now? Angel now?
Angel, I think he's waking up, says April.
Where?
He says. He's got a tube in for breathing. As he looks up, April dives on him to hug him. Oh, thank God, Casey! I feel like crud. What happened? You almost died, that's what happened, says April. Yeah, Jones. Next time you need attention, do us all a favor and write a poem or something, okay? Says Angel. Very funny, Angel. You should know getting the crap kicked out of you is way easier than writing stuff, he says. Oh man, Raph, we got jumped by the foot and, he says, coming to just a moment of realization. Raph's okay, Casey. He and Splinter came to us as we brought you to the hospital. But they had to go look for Leo. Leo? Why? He disappeared after our big fight with the Shredder and Karai. Casey tries to get up. Disappeared doing... Casey, you just had major surgery. You need to rest. Yeah, man. You got hurt pretty bad. Got a ton to catch you up on, but just chill and we'll tell you everything. Yeah, okay, but do me a favor. Start with what the heck's going on with the turtles, he says. Now we show back on the meeting with Hob. Raphael, Splinter, and Donatello look on over a rooftop. You sure this is the right place, Hob? Positive. What makes you think I'm lying? As they all kind of give him a side-eye look. Well, I ain't. Fine. Now we just have to figure that out. How to get in there. We show it looks like an airplane hangar hut, and they think that's where Leonardo is, on the side of the docks. Leave that to me, says Hob, as they all look at him still, not believing him. Man, I sincerely do not trust this flea biter. Yeah, he sure seems to conveniently have all the answers, doesn't he?
I agree with your concerns, my sons, but I do believe old Hobbs knows where Leonardo is. That is enough to convince me to follow him.
Hey, where's Mikey? Mikey looks on at the hulking figure that is Slash, just kind of standing up, looking at him, in his face, non-assuming, innocent, and holds up a candy bar. Dude, chillax! You don't gotta be so grumpy. Have a candy bar. You'll love it. He grabs it from him and sniffs it. Smells yummy, huh? Don't worry, it won't hurt you. Donnie told me chocolate makes dogs sick, so I'm saving this one for that stupid mutt Alopex. Come on, Mikey. Time to get Leo. Gotta go. Hobbs says you're staying here, so when this is all done, I'll come back and show you pizza. Promise. Candy. As he licks his lips, tasting the candy after he ripped through the package. He likes it. Hey guys, turns out Slash ain't such a bad dude after all. Didn't even try to eat me or nothing. Only you, Mikey. Only you. Yo, ladies, we doing this thing or what? Says Hob.
Yes, old Hob, lead the way,
Splinter says, taking out his sword.
We will follow.
As they do in fact follow Hob, the fleet-footed cat running, Splinter behind him, then Raph, Donatello, and Michelangelo leading up behind, as they duck in behind a warehouse. We see Hob grabs onto a chain lock. Breaking and entering? Seriously? Yeah, because knocking would be so much better, right, Turtle? As he breaks it with his strength. After you. He opens the door. What, no more leading the way? Says Raph. Hey, it's a dark room and you got the pointy knives and sticks. I'll gladly follow. As he opens the door to let him in. Then Splinter and the three turtles come in. Whoa, it is dark in here. Mikey, quiet, says Donnie, all of a sudden with a slam of the door. What the?
Hob! Damn it, Hob! I knew you were full of crap!
As Hob then barricades the door again with the lock. You say crap, little turtle, I might say brains. You might be a bunch of death wish idiots, but I sure as hell ain't no dummy. As he walks away, as he locked him in there. It's dark. They can't necessarily see. Raph lashes out.
Stinking flea bag, I oughta! Let him go, Raphael. Old Hob did what he promised.
Hamato Yoshi. So kind of you to join us, says a voice in the darkness.
Uh-oh,
says Mikey.
It is not kindness that drives this visit, Orokosaki. Show yourself. I would speak with you now.
But of course. As he turns on the lights, we can see Karai and Alopex behind Shredder. And it looks like an altar, or where they sit with their throne, with the sign of the Foot Clan behind him. Welcome, Yoshi, to the beginning. And the end, he says. I don't see Leo anywhere, says Donatello.
Nah, just Pinhead and his bowl-cut brat, and that mangy pooch, says
Raphael.
Remain calm and on guard. I will speak to Saki. Do not instigate anything yet, my sons. Is that understood, Raphael?
Splinter says.
But, yeah, okay, understood.
he says. Raph looking at him, feeling kind of called out.
We are here for my son, Orokosaki. For Leonardo. We have been told you have him prisoner. We demand his immediate return. Blood need not be shed this day, but be aware, we will use all means necessary to retrieve our loved one. Ah, but I would expect no less, Yoshi. Though I must inform you, blood has already been spilled. I told you tonight belongs to beginnings and endings, did I not?
As he looks on, talking to him.
Even as we speak, ninja are moving to tighten my grip all across this great city.
We can see the ninjas are actually taking over some of the gangs.
And cutting down any and all who dare oppose me. My long-awaited destiny is finally at hand.
The Sabate now fight the ninjas, and it doesn't look like they're doing well.
And I will crush anyone foolish enough to stand in my way.
Holding the sword toward Orokosaki, Splinter speaks with him.
Sadly, however, you will not be alive to witness my ultimate triumph, Yoshi. Tonight I end the nuisance you have presented with me over 2 lifetimes. You are sorely mistaken if you believe for even 1 second that I care for your criminal wars or arrogant threats. Return my son to me, Orokosaki. Your son is no more.
They all look on.
This cannot be. Hear me now, devil. If I cannot have my son, I will have your head.
As he attacks him, and only to be blocked by a sword.
No!
As we see the first appearance of Dark Leonardo. I will not allow you to harm my master. Leonardo, decked out in Foot Clan, looking very close to Karai's outfit. Black leg wrappings with knee pads. He's got a gauntlet on his left arm. And his blue bandana hanging over his sword. His bandana is now black, as it was in the vision. He has a short sword, and then on his back he's got his 2 katana blades. And pouches and grenades and such. He looks utterly badass. Shocked, Splinter lowers his sword.
My son, you live! But why are you? Ha!
He kicks him right in the face. No, rodent, you are wrong. As he pulls off the sword and rips his former blue bandana, he throws it on the ground. I am not your son.
Oh, hell no,
says Raph. It's still Leo, guys.
Don't hurt him, Raph.
Raph running at him, about to attack Dark Leonardo.
What the hell, Leo? That's our father!
I already said, he is not my father. And then, with a similar kick upside the head of Raphael, very quickly. Mikey and Donatello now look on.
What's going on?
Mikey, watch out! As they jump and duck from Leonardo swiping them, takes off a piece of Donatello's bandana. Leo, stop this! As he blocks with his wrist gauntlet. And then, with the pommel hand of his sword, hits Donatello right in the larynx with a... No, says Mikey as he runs towards him. He stops his nunchuck attack with his sword, and then, with a swipe, sends him back into Donatello, knocking them both out with a thud.
All right, big bro, you want rough? I'll give you rough.
As Leonardo now, with his gauntlet, presses a button that releases 2 blades, very similar to Shredder, and stops them right in between Raph's sai, as it was going for his head.
What?
Surprising him, and then disarming Raphael's sai. He then headbutts him right in the face, knocking him to the ground as well, next to his brothers.
Leo, please, no!
As he raises the killing stroke to take out Splinter, and Michelangelo pleads with him. All of a sudden we hear, Enough! Lower your sword, Leonardo. You have proven yourself a worthy Chunin, says the Shredder.
Master, why do you not allow Leonardo to execute him?
Because, Karai, the rat is mine. You may have the rest, he says. Then, they're suddenly surrounded by Foot.
Damn,
says Raph, the turtles beaten by their brother. Guys, run! Donatello says.
Where? Says Mikey.
The door we came in. We'll bust it open. Come on.
Grr.
No, they're everywhere.
That just means plenty of butt to kick. Bring it.
Yes, mutant. We intend to. As Dark Leonardo, Shredder, Karai, and Alopex close in on them. Then, all of a sudden, with a crash through the wall, comes Slash, taking out the metal wall and just decimating a whole bunch of Foot Clan soldiers and surprising the Shredder. Slash, says Mikey.
Roar! Candy!
You know what, big dude, as soon as we get out of here, says Mikey, as he slams one of the Foot Ninjas to the ground, leaving them a way to escape. The wall's giving way. Now or never, guys.
Let's go, Slash, says Mikey. This ain't over, punks.
Splinter looks back.
Leonardo.
As they all take off, Donatello says, Okay, we're in the clear.
Hob, I'm gonna skin you alive, says Raphael. Whoa, easy. You're so ticked off at me, you're still breathing, ain't you? You took us to a freaking meat grinder, he says. And I got you out of the meat grinder, he says as Raphael grabs him by the throat. I told the foot I could deliver you, and I did. And that gets the top dog off the cat's back. But what's coming to the city, that's priceless. Not my fault you didn't know I had another turtle up my sleeve. Way I see it is I'm square with everyone. And the offer to join my gang still stands. You can take your offer and shove it, Fleabag. We'll never join your freak show.
And quit flattering yourself, Hob. That was Slash saving our butts back there, not you.
Here you go, buddy. Good boy. Candy.
As Michelangelo hands Slash another candy bar.
No luck getting the Ella Greenie back, huh? Let me guess. He went and got himself a new daddy, right?
Damn it, Hob. Not now. All right, just not now. It says to be continued. As on the rooftop, a pensive Splinter looks over, holding the remnants of the blue bandana that once was Leonardo's, and just thinking. And that's the end of issue 24.
Hi, this is Francois Chow. I am the Shredder from Secret of the Ooze. And it's been a pleasure for me to talk to Justin and Eric on Epic Tales from the Sewers. It's been great, guys.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Alopex Microseries. Written by Brian Lynch, with art by Sophie Campbell. Letters by Chris Mowry, with editor Bobby Curnow. Colors by Ross Campbell and Heather Nunley. We start out. 12:42 p.m. Cleaning crew has gone home. Security guy is napping in his secret hiding spot. Broom closet next to the lobby. We see a building, and it looks like some kanji on the wall. Possibly in Chinatown. Looks like there's a desk with some toughs in suits, holding open a briefcase full of money and some shadowy figures that we find out are ninjas. On the wall, there's some decor that looks like samurai with weapons. There's a kunoichi mask with some kama. The owner of the building is holding an after-hours meeting. He is a wannabe ninja, looking to level up by organizing muscle, buying intel. This idiot is not my concern. The 4 turncoats selling him the secrets of my ninja clan? They're the mission. Turns out that there's 4 ninjas from the Foot Clan, some dressed up with claws, and all of them covering their face. They want to betray the Foot. They want to betray my master. As all of a sudden, from the window, a spike comes into the back of the bald one's head, right in the back of his brainstem. Then the other one, spikes come through the window with a psst, and the precision that they hit the 2 guys that are behind the briefcase, the 2 bald security guards in the back of their brainstem. And then all of a sudden, a crash through the window. It's time to go to work. Alopex comes cross-armed through, busting through the window in kind of a dynamic scene. Alopex is white, with some pads covering her feet and her arms. She's got swords on her back and looks like a bow staff, and sort of a purplish mask that it looks like. We can see that her eyes are just focused on her target. So-called ninja immediately goes for a gun. I get there first. She grabs his gun and then blasts him right through the chest. What are you? I guess he wasn't expecting a mutant Arctic fox, she says, smacking him on the face with a punch. Knocks him down to the ground, as she looks onto the 4 ninjas now prepared for her. Hold it, she says. I'm going to win. We all know that. We don't. Shh, we do. You fight me with these. It'll be good practice for when I have actual opponents. My apology to whoever gets the bow. She takes the weapons off of her and puts them on the ground. It's a sai, nunchucks, swords, and a bow. Stick with these weapons. I'll fight blind. Deal? Great. As they all kind of look on, unsure of what to do, they each pick up the weapons. Truth be told, this is more than you deserve. Master Shredder took you in. He trained you, invited you into his family. And this is how you repay him? As she takes out the one with the swords first, the quick punch, blindfolding herself. So she can see and fight blindly. She unarms one of the swords. You don't understand, says the one with the sword, as she thinks to how she's actually punching Leonardo, and she's using these to practice. No, I get it. Enemies are closing in. Attacks are more frequent. Rats usually jump ship at the first sign of trouble. Then she kicks the one with the bow right in the face with a back kick, and then an uppercut, as she's picturing that it's actually Donatello. Strike that. Some rats actually are honorable. Don't deserve to be lumped in with you. As she hits the one that she pretends is Michelangelo with a upwards kick of her knee right into its chin, knocking him out. These men were part of the foot, part of the family, as she slashes at what would be Raphael's chest. Alopex, please, says the one with the size. They had a home, a purpose, a calling, and they threw it all away for what? Keep the money. He's distracted. He can't be paying attention to us. Let us go. He doesn't have to know. There's no escape from the foot, she says, reaching out with her claws as if to claw out his eyes. I cover my tracks, we see as she runs away on the rooftops, and there's a fire that encompasses that whole scene that she was. And then I go home. Things are tense at the HQ. We're being attacked from all sides. We see the two humans that would be Rocksteady and Bebop just sitting there looking at her. Most of the humans aren't ready for war. Some are. It's a foot elite. Alopex, he wants to see you. Back 5 minutes and already a new mission. Master, she says as she opens up the doorway. She's standing there in shadow as she looks on to Orokosaki, who's sitting meditating in a circle surrounded by candles. He's there shirtless. We can see he's got no mask on either. Master Shredder knows I won't fail him. There are rumblings he's going to promote me. But that is not all why I work as hard as I do. I owe this man everything. He made me what I am. More than a mindless animal. Without him, I'd probably be dead in some hunter's trap, or starving in the snow. She sits down, cross-legged lotus style, right across from him. Ahem. The traitors have been Opposition is escalating. We need to consolidate resources. Tomorrow at dawn, you and I are leading a cleanup of one of our research facilities. He throws her a portfolio, it looks like, as she opens it up to read. Fairbanks, Alaska? Is there a problem? He says to her, eyes not even open. No, sir. I know that name. It's not just on this file. As she can see, it's on mine. In her memory, she sees someone injecting this Arctic fox that would become Alopex with mutagen in sort of a black and white tableau. Dawn it is, then. Looking forward to it, she says. Fairbanks, Alaska. We see a helicopter with a red sort of glass coming into the Arctic landscape. Overhead, we can see an Arctic fox chasing a rabbit. Never thought I'd come back here. Fairbanks is where they mutated me, but it goes deeper than that. Alopex looks on, wearing a cloak. The surrounding area, the woods, the mountains. According to my file, this was my home. Inside the helicopter, there's about 6 foot soldiers with the shredder, all strapped into the back of the helicopter. Master is watching. He's wondering if I'll react. Truth is, I don't remember much about this place. Everything pre-mutation is a blur. All right. Master Shredder wants to see what I'm made of. As they land outside a facility, Alopex is the first to get off. She has a comma in her hand, ready for action. So I'll show him. This place has been closed for months. It's probably empty. With your permission, I'll take care of this, says Alopex. As Alopex goes in, we can see that snow has crept its way in, and then the air conditioning's not working, and all of the heat, there's icicles hanging. She plants a little bit of an explosive. Okay, let's make this quick. Plant the bombs, grab any useful equipment, blow this place to hell. Further in she goes. She can see it looks like it's been ransacked. Going to be easy. I don't smell anything alive in the entire building. The facility is dead. Outside, however, looks on at her rabbit. Rabbit? Huh, I know what that's called now, but back then I only knew its scent. I knew how fast it ran. I knew how it tasted. It shows a memory, black and white, of Alopex as a Arctic fox chasing the rabbit. All sorts of life. Rabbits, squirrels. They could hide all they wanted, but I always found them. Alopex ever the hunter. I remember this, taking off her cloak as she stands in the snow, in the wilderness, just kind of looking and remembering. I had a family. I was the hunter of the pack before I was fully grown. A memory of her bringing back some food to her family. Looks like there's 4 other Arctic foxes that were depending on her. I should get back to work. That was a long time ago. Resting her hand on her head, remembering. The foot is my family now. Push back the memories. Fight. You know how to do that. I knew it how then, too. And it shows her fighting against a wolf who was trying to steal her food. Black and white memory again. Known throughout the land, feared by all. That's what I felt like, at least, and I was just a dumb kid. The truth was different. The bear, she says. seeing a giant memory of a polar bear going after her. That monster wasn't afraid of anything. Would destroy anything in its path. Every creature in the area that lived and died by the shadow of that bear. Back into the cave, they all kind of hiding from the bear. Sometimes we hid for weeks. We couldn't leave because he was nearby. But we survived. My family and I, we stayed together. She looks into the fox's den. My old family. And outside she sees what could have very possibly been one of her relatives, an Arctic fox outside the den, as she squats down to look inside. It catches her gaze, then runs away. Why is it running? There's no danger, scent. What is that? Something's burning. As she bounds into a run. We can see her going, and then amidst the flames, she says, "It smells like meat."
Welcome, Alopex.
It smells like death.
To your final initiation. You are no longer just a soldier. From this point on, you are a chunin of the foot. There is a sacred ritual that dates back for centuries. Today you will let go of your past so that you may embrace your future with your true family, says the Shredder. He extends out his hand. I am so proud of you. We see her face. Her eye turns red. Grrr! As she grabs his arm, sinking her claws into just underneath his gauntlet, and then tries to slash at his face, which he narrowly evades. Then with a backhand of his lightning-fast reflexes, slashes back at her. No! As she slashes again, he apparently lets her get too close. You had my loyalty! Then you bring me back here? Show me my life? Then you just destroy it! You kill them all? She kicks him right in the face, and he takes it, getting a scar on the side of his face as it takes off a little piece of his cloth mask. Are you smiling at me? She says, absolutely incensed. I am. You know it was my idea to use foxes. Crafty, so fast, perfect hunters. I hold them in high esteem. And look now how you turned out. Just incredible. You actually drew blood. He grabs her by the throat and then kicks her with his knee into the breadbasket, just kind of immobilizing her into a heap on the ground. But you need to remember your place. Never touch me again. This forest was full of life. It's all gone. You've destroyed them all. You act as though you're still one of them. You're not. Your foot. Again reaching his hand out to her. I want to slice it off. I want to run. I can't. There's no escape from the foot. You're right, master. It was old instinct, as she says. Slashed blood across her nose. You can see that her nose is bleeding. She leans up, eyes closed. She'll acquiesce as she takes off behind him, Shredder leading the way with the 7 foot soldiers, and then she comes up behind them. Shredder allows me to live, but doesn't say another word. He is displeased, but it won't last. There's no damage that can't be undone. He'll forgive me. We see that her face is kind of looking off pensively, and the other part of the scene is the helicopter taking off from the exploded factory and forest fire. After everything Shredder's done for me, he'll want to see me do well. I'll be his greatest warrior, as we show the 4 Turtle Brothers and Splinter taking up arms against a back-to-back Alopex and Shredder. I will fight my way back to his side, but I know who he is. He's the bear, and this time, I'm going to kill the bear. The end. And that's the end of the Alopex Microseries. IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Microseries number 5, Karai. Written by Eric Burnham. Art by Corey Smith. Colors by Ian Hearing. Letters by Sean Lee. And editor, Bobby Curnow. We start out at a training facility in Westchester County, New York. The Foot Clan's Genin training facility. Let us begin, says one of the masters. And remember, you must move as one. It is a simple thing, but you will help you to learn precision.
And precision is a valuable asset, says Karai, who momentarily ago was not on top of the statue's head, as she sits crouched now.
I wish you wouldn't do that to my students, says the master.
It serves a purpose, to know who is able to steel themselves against surprise.
Really? I thought you did it because it amused you.
It is good to see you again, old man.
And what brings you to the school today? Do you need soldiers already? These are not ready.
Clearly. But no, Toshiro-san. This is time I have come for counsel, she says.
Students, continue. Let us take a walk, he says as the students continue to move as one.
You typically keep your own counsel, he says.
Other perspectives can help one find a proper direction. At the moment, I am unsure what the proper direction is. My position in the Foot Clan has been altered, and I must decide how to proceed.
And if you cannot accept your new place, you must either challenge the master for leadership, or perhaps disappear.
I cannot, best grandfather. Not yet. Nor can I leave. No, without the Foot Clan, I am nothing.
That cannot be true. For what were you before you felt this way?
Younger. When I was a child, my father told me the stories of the Foot Clan's legendary kunoichi. He told me to remember that we had descended from a powerful ninja clan, and that I should embrace and draw strength from this. But as I grew, it became more clear that he did not follow his own advice. My father had no use for the past. His modern version of the Foot Clan was nothing but a legion of lawyers and accountants. They were as capable of deceit and trickery as any ninja, but their weapons were far less effective.
We show Karai as a young girl looking on at her father at a desk as he talks to someone. And why wasn't I made aware of this sooner, Nakamura? I will not do business with the Russians. Maybe if you've read the last round of contracts a little more closely, Aroko Yori, it was a part of your price of your acquisition. All they really want is a seat at the table, a vote. You're still in charge, we just make a lot of money. How much money? He says. More than enough to soothe the growing pains. The Foot Clan is finally going to be worthwhile world class. You'll see.
The fact that my father's mind could be changed so easily by the promise of money, that he allowed a subordinate to speak to him so disrespectfully, it was disappointing, and the opposite of everything he had taught me to believe in. As she peers into their meeting, her mother grabs her. Karai, what do you think you're doing? I told you not to eavesdrop. Why must you always embarrass me? She says. I'm sorry, Mother. I wasn't there long. I was looking for my book. But Father was busy, so I was waiting. If you want a book, go to the library. That's what it's there for, she says as she smacks her and sends her up the stairs. Into the library now Karai goes. I hated when my mother treated me like an idiot, but at least she hadn't sent me to my room. I enjoyed the rare times where I was allowed to visit the library. There was so much to look through, and if I was lucky I could stumble onto something exceptional. As she looks at an old book, as it looks like it's bound with some orange bindings on the outside, such as the Ashi no Himitsu. My father used to keep it downstairs to show off to the visitors, but I had never been allowed to look. She reaches for the book now, a young girl with pigtails, a determined look on her face. And then, as it was sitting in the open, more proof that my father's lack of respect for the past. The book was amazing. It contained all the history of the Foot Clan, of my family, and better, it contained detailed instructions for our methods as well, as she looks on underneath the covers, reading it with a flashlight as a young girl would, and then shows herself in the mirror practicing the martial arts that it teaches her. And so it began. During the day, I was a proper girl that my mother wanted me to be, as she sits there practicing her piano, and at night, I studied the Ashi no Himsu, hoping to become more that my father could not, as she attacks a dummy with a striking attack. For years I lived like this. It shows her in a debutante sort of gown with her mother as she approves, and at night, relishing each test of growing my skill, kicking through the dummy now, with a devastating kick that shatters the wood. And now, outside, fighting gangs in a graffitied alley, it was truly the only time I felt alive. But it was exhausting, as she returns home, covered with blood, exhausted on her bed. Even in my dreams, there was a little chance to rest. It shows her leading ninjas. And then, who appears in her dream? The ghost of Oroku Saki. You have remarkable form for one with no true instruction. Perhaps you are of my blood after all. Who? Looking on to the man. This is Oroku Saki as we have seen him in the secret origins of the Foot Clan. So from years ago. I am Oroku Saki, girl. You may call me grandfather. You do not fear me? I have read the words of Oroku Saki. He died hundreds of years ago, which makes you a dream. And what do I have to fear from a dream? What? He says as he slashes her with his gauntlet, cutting her hand, making her bleed. Does one feel pain in a dream, granddaughter? You are a ghost. Then why have you come to me?
Ha! And still you do not fear me. Very good. The Foot Clan has been corrupted, granddaughter. I have seen it, and I am disappointed.
Don't be. I plan to take it back, she says with defiance in her eyes, hand still bleeding.
And how will you do that?
By any means necessary. It is due to my father's decisions that we have gone astray, so it is my duty to fix it.
It is our duty, granddaughter.
But you are dead.
That can be changed. You could bring me back, you alone, and then together we could return the Foot Clan to its rightful place. I will teach you things, granddaughter, things that have been lost to the years, that my heir would deserve to know.
To draw strength from the past. I have seen the ritual of the Ashino Himsu. I will bring you back, grandfather. I will try, but I must correct father's mistake first, and that I must do on my own.
I have waited for centuries, granddaughter. I can wait a little bit longer, but I have your promise. I will hold you to it. Wake now, he says,
as he puts his hand onto her.
Wake and remember.
As she looks down, there's now a scar where she was slashed in her dream by the ghost, and she can see it as they cut the wrappings on her hand. 2 slashes.
Remember your promise to me and yourself.
As she looks on, smiling, remembering it. The next few years were spent building my resources. Looks like she's in college now. And finding the right people in sort of an underground fight club, watching people fight, and then instructing them, teaching them to be useful. Now, with her ninjas behind her, she shows some espionage, where she leaves a building that's exploding, and using them in my campaign to carve out the cancer that would have overtaken the Foot. And now we see the man that was speaking disrespectfully to her father.
But it was just 1/3 a week. Surely we don't need to convene a meeting just to approve extra security.
But we're being targeted by, well, I don't know who, but all the same, I think that we should. Yes, sir, I will request that Mr. Oroku call a meeting to discuss our options. Thank you. He hangs up.
Deet, deet. Unbelievable.
What? The Foot Clan no longer requires your services.
What do you... Who is this? Do you know who you're speaking to?
Of course.
Tsh,
as an arrow goes through his teacup.
Oh.
He runs away. Then, while he's leaving, we see a shunk 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 into the back of his neck. 3 arrows plunge. And far away, a woman with a red scarf, a ninja, kunoichi. It's Karai, as she has sunk those arrows in from him, as she holds her bow out. You are part of the price of acquisition, she says. Now, back into the real day, where she's talking with her master. Without Nakamura, my father was consumed by the morass the Foot had become. The stress eventually killed him, leaving me free to build without interference.
You resurrected the Foot Clan, yes. And then you resurrected its Jonin.
Incredible accomplishments, especially for one so young, says her master. And that is my problem, Toshiro. It is why I sought your counsel. The Foot Clan is on the verge of power that rivals any of its history. Yet the Jonin I resurrected has chosen another as his second. Toshiro, if I have nothing to offer but my past successes, what am I? So you've been up here whining to an old man. Makes sense. What? And that is why you're no longer Chunin, Karai. A surprised Karai looks over to see Dark Leonardo standing there. And you don't have the strength to deal with things on your own. She looks on her. You! Why are you here? She says. Watch your tone. I'm here to assess the facility for the master. And so far I'm not impressed. We'll be needing more ninjas soon. And the students I saw practicing are next to worthless. Are you that bad of a teacher, old man? He says, looking on disrespectfully to both Karai and Toshiro. With respect, this man is an excellent teacher. I've seen no evidence of that, says Leonardo. Perhaps you would if you gave him the proper amount of time to train new recruits before you send them to their deaths. Are you suggesting there's another purpose? No, I don't care, as he pokes her with his green finger. Your opinion is worthless to me. In fact, your only worth is about how fast you can do what I tell you to do. Beyond that, you're obsolete. I truly hate this creature, she says. All my effort to bring the Foot back to glory could be undone in a moment. But I cannot stop without defying the master. She looks on. Leonardo continues. You look like you have something to say. Maybe you disagree? Don't think you're obsolete? Poor little Karai, of course you are. I've heard you trying to rouse the Genjin before battle, going in about the honor of the Foot Clan, talking about strength from our past. The past is where the dead live. Leaders must look to the future. She gets super upset. Touched a nerve, didn't I? Will you go crying to Master next about his new Chunin hurt your feelings? I tell you what, I'm willing to settle things now. If you think you're better suited to leave than I am, prove it. Attack me. Her eyes go red, and she headbutts him. Ugh! He was not suspecting that, and then with a sweep of the legs takes him off his feet. He ducks, rolls, and lands in a poised position, ready to counterattack. This may not be a wasted trip after all. It appears you finally get to be put in your place. As he extends his claws. As he attacks her, Kia! She pulls out one of her short swords. As they fight, he slashes and she blocks. I know I should not have attacked him, but at least I cannot be faulted for disobedience. They clash. He knocks her sword out of her hands. We have fought before many times, but this is different. He seems slower, less certain of his movements. She kicks him in the back of the knee, and then, with an upkick, she hits him underneath the chin. Then he responds with a kick to her, which she dodges, grabs her sword, and then throws it at his head. I could end him today, once and for all. Ki! As she hits him with a jump kick, knocking him down onto his face. Oh. After all, this turtle did provoke this fight. Still, whoa. And then he donkey kicks her from behind, and then slams a sword down. I submit, Shunin. I told you that you were nothing. I hope this was reminded you of your place. As he holds his claws up to her face. I know what I deserve, she says. And as for you, old man, the quality of this training does not improve on my next visit. It will not be so pleasant. Hi, Chunin, he says. I'll be watching. Toshiro says to her, Tell me why you did not kill him. Because he beat me. I am an old man, but not a blind one. I did not kill him because I know how my grandfather thinks. If I had killed his Chunin, he would turn and kill me for disrespecting his will. No, I must change my grandfather's mind first, she says. But make no mistake, I still claim victory today. I could feel his hesitation. With my blade at his throat, he didn't have the resolve to kill me. And if he had? Then we would both have deserved our fates. He is weak, Toshiro, an animal playing at being a man. He no longer thinks of me as a threat. One day, I shall have my revenge. The turtle will realize that he should have killed me when I gave him the chance. He will know that my skill surpasses his. His spirit will be broken, and I will end him. Still, he was right about one thing. Oh, the leader should concern herself with the future. So you have decided on a direction after all. She looks and smiles. 2 days later, the Shorai Research and Development. The door says room 6. The future belongs to those who can take it. We are all limited only by the level of power that we possess. And all of you know this, that's why you volunteered. And you all want the power to change the future. And I alone can give it to you. We see there's lots of people in this room, but it looks like the two that would become Bebop and Rocksteady are standing there. I need only 2 of you. So we will conduct one final test to determine who moves forward. What kind of test? Says Bebop. The simplest of one, as she hits him in the face, knocking off his glasses. He bleeds from the mouth. Last one standing stays. Let us begin. It says to be continued in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue 25. And that's the end of the Karai Microseries.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's been a wonderful 100 episodes. I really appreciate everyone listening. I just wanted to get Eric here, and we're going to talk about just a couple thank yous that and some shout outs that we want to do for the show, for all the support that we've had over the years. I would like to start out by thanking my co-host, Eric, for joining me probably about maybe a year or 2 into the show and all that. Had some difficulties and got Eric. And Eric, you've made this fun and enjoyable and just interesting to do, and I really appreciate you being a part of this.
No, Justin, you already know that I really appreciate you. I have to give you a big thank you too for letting me be a part of something to me is very, very, very big in my life. and I want to thank you too, man. I appreciate you.
It's it's great because it's now we can see kind of how this has affected other people. I would be absolutely remiss if I didn't thank Santino Mancebo, who kind of gave us the idea to do this show from the beginning when we started Epic Shells, when we started Epic Tales from the Sewers. So Santino's kind of the godfather of this. But we've also want to thank some of the co-hosts that have helped. Doug Hall, thanks so much for helping out. Doug's a great friend. Helped out with the Julian interview for the role playing game. He's kind of our resident expert on role playing games. Liddy Waters hosted the all ladies only episode, along with Amanda and Natasha, and Mr. Rob Denner, who we've always considered to be the original third host. So right after Eric, there's Rob, and he's not on as much anymore because he's really busy. But shout out to Rob, early
Hmm.
on guy. Drew Malo for helping with the Pharaoh Pay and Eric Burnham interviews. Thanks, Drew. Ghostbuster Man 84, and to our buddy Brian Van Hooker. So thanks to you guys.
Yeah, definitely big thank you. Of course, I've already bit, big thank you to you again. You know, Also, I'd like to give a big thanks to, a lot of the listeners, like, Travis Doss, Jason Flowers. I know he's a
Yeah,
listener, but also been a host too as well. Been on
Jason
there.
has been on the show more than any other guest, and
Yep.
it's nice because I consider Jason a friend. So
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Camilo, another one. He's a
Camilo,
listener. He's a
absolutely.
slash listener slash, guest. I mean, a lot of it seems like a lot of our listeners also have been hosts on here too as well. Big Ethan from Second Time Around Comics. Absolutely amazing. Um, oh man, such a long list for everybody. Of course, Mike Ruth, Hugh Rookwood, our Canadian buddies.
Hmm.
Um, Big huge thanks to them too for coming on the show and just being big supporters for us. Um, our listeners, Doug McKellar.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
hope I'm not saying, I know that he's like a big huge fan of ours. And oh man, trying to go down the list.
You had mentioned before Magnus, so Speedo
Yeah,
Comic.
Magnus, big
Yeah,
Magnus, from
love
overseas.
Magnus.
Like he's been a big supporter too as well, and honored to have him on the show too as well. Um,
Arthur
and
Waby from
Arthur Waby,
early
yeah,
part of the show, listener. Joey Marrero, another great
yep,
listener.
yep,
And
um,
just let's see, just to mention Ben Bishop, Emily, and the Bish Kids, huge supporters. Big thank
yes,
you. Love the Bish Kids. Bish Kid for life.
and the Cool Kids Club. You can't forget those guys either.
Can't forget them. Yep.
Yep,
I'm with you. We did I mention Scott Cromer?
yep,
Freddie Williams II for
mm-hmm,
helping me set up that whole Masters of the Universe thing. That was great. Let's see, Ernest Acosta III for doing our logo.
mm-hmm,
Great artist. He's look forward to stuff from him. He's going to be coming on next year. Miles Francis, who's hitting it big as a comedian right now. Thank you,
absolutely.
Miles. Best Darn Diddley Simpsons podcast. Great friend of the show. Daryl, Jonathan, and Josh Adams from the video game episode. And Josh has been on every podcast. Daryl, great guys. Thanks so much. Leo and Brandon from the Dorkening, my co-hosts on the Comics Paradox and Dork Night podcast. Love you guys. Thanks for all the support. Um, let's see, Justin and Matt early on from Geek Life HQ. Thanks, guys. And the guys from Still Token, Jeff and Ben. Still Token, that's actually how Steve Levine came on the show because I was covering their show. So that was a great introduction, and I really appreciate Ben and Jeff for that. So it's pretty cool. I know Jar Jar Jeremy listens. J-Bo McNeil, who we'll see at Granite, so he'll be there. Um, and let's see, I had our friends in Australia for listening.
Yep.
Thank you. We really appreciate your support. And this was the biggest surprise for me. Our listeners in Namibia, and I am not making this up. We're like the 42nd highest ranked show in Namibia, Africa.
Woo.
So it's really crazy. Our listeners in England, Ireland, and Canada, especially, thank you for all your support. I see you. I really appreciate it. And thanks to all our supporters.
Yeah, big. That's been a huge thing, for us to have our 100th episode and to keep going and being a indie podcast and for us to be as ranked as high as we've been past year to say the least.
Yeah, a lot of
We
growth.
couldn't. Yeah, we couldn't have done it with a lot of our supporters, our listeners, and all the downloads and everything. Like it's greatly appreciated. But you know, um, also a big shout out to Papa Sibo and Randy
Placebo,
MacArthur.
absolutely.
Those two guys, I know their guys are really big supporters too. Can't wait to see them again here tomorrow. Um, but most of all, we have to give Kevin and Peter one of the biggest shout outs because without them making turtles possible, we wouldn't be sitting here today. So
Yeah,
big.
so many friendships. Like my best friend, Todd. It's like our friendship was cultivated on Ninja Turtles, and it just came from that love and everything else like
Yep.
that. And we would be talking about Mike Dooney and Eric Talbot and AC Farley and Dan Berger and Steve Levine and stuff like. And it's like these are just these people that were just legends to us, and to be able to do this, you know, Pete and Kevin, thank you. And
Yeah.
by extension, Courtney, thank you. So,
Yes.
but,
Yeah. Definitely.
but yeah,
Definitely can't forget Courtney because Courtney plays a huge part of the turtle community too as well. I mean, that's they're Kevin and Courtney. I mean, they're partners in crime. Ha, pun intended.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but no, if it wasn't for them to just sit down there and have a Ninja Turtle kick a bus and make it go the other way, we wouldn't be sitting where we're at today.
And
So,
it just so I don't forget anybody else, I want to thank Tim and Steve from Retro Red Octopus for our new theme music that you heard. Steve and D. Levine, just because we didn't have a chance to thank them earlier. Thank you to all the guests who have been on the show, whether it's
hmm
Townsend Coleman, Ken Scott, Pharaoh Pay.
yeah,
Let's see, Master Daniel Pacina.
yeah,
A lot of the people that we've had on, that it's like I can't even believe. Francois Chow, amazing guy.
yeah,
So
yeah,
great stuff. And I mean, just thanks, and hopefully we'll see you in the next 100.
yeah, definitely. Thank you, everybody. Thank you again. Appreciate the support and love.
All right, stay tuned for your 100th episode, Pizza Time.
It's pizza time.
And now, in a segment that we call Pizza Time, where we discuss any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or pizza-related food, I give you Pizza Time. And now, for our very special Pizza Time for our 100th episode, a deep dish pizza for a very deep episode. Deep dish pizza with spicy sausage and olives. For the dough, 1 1/2 teaspoons dry active yeast, 1 1/2 cups of warm water, 100 to 110 degrees, 2 cups of bread flour, 1 3/4 cups all-purpose flour, plus more for dusting, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons kosher salt, 1/4 cup extra virgin olive oil, plus more for the bowl. For the pizza, 1 teaspoon extra virgin olive oil, 8 ounces of hot Italian sausage, about 3 links, casings removed, pinched, 3 1/4 inch pieces, 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese, plus more for topping, 8 ounces of low moisture mozzarella cheese, half cut into thin slices, half shredded, 1/2 cup pizza sauce, 3/4 cup canned sliced black olives, drained, finely chopped fresh parsley for topping. Step 1. Make the dough. Sprinkle the yeast over the warm water in a small bowl. Let stand until dissolved and slightly foamy, 5 to 10 minutes. Meanwhile, whisk the bread flour, all-purpose flour, and sugar and salt into a large bowl and make a well in the center. Pour the yeast mixture into the well and add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Stir with a wooden spoon until shaggy dough forms. Step 2. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface, dust the dough with flour and knead, dusting more flour as needed, until it's very smooth and elastic, but still tacky, about 3 to 5 minutes. Step 3. Transfer the dough to an oiled bowl, turning to coat. Cover with plastic wrap and let rise in a warm place until it's doubled in size, about 1.5 hours. Step 4. Divide the dough into 2 balls. You'll need only 1 ball of dough for this pizza, so you can refrigerate or freeze the other dough for use. Transfer the remaining dough ball into a 9-inch round cake pan, coated with the remaining 2 tablespoons of oil. Cover and let the dough rise again until it's almost spread to the edge of the pan. About 1 hour. Step 5. Put on a pizza stone, baking steel, or inverted large baking sheet into the lower third of the oven. Preheat to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Use the convection setting if available. Step 6. Make the pizza. Heat the olive oil in a medium skillet over medium-high heat, and add sausage and cook, stirring occasionally until browned, and cook through, about 5 to 7 minutes. Remove to a paper towel-lined plate and a slotted spoon. Let drain and cool. Step 7. Press the dough to reach the edge of the pan, and then press the dough up to the side to create a lip that's about 1/2 to 3/4 inch higher than the center of the dough. Top with Parmesan cheese and sliced mozzarella, leaving a 1/2 inch border around the edge. Spread the pizza sauce over the cheese, almost to the edge and to the top of the sausage, olives, and then top with sausage, olives, and shredded mozzarella. Step 8. Place the pan on a hot stone and bake the pizza until the crust is golden brown and the cheese is bubbling and browned in spots, about 12 to 15 minutes. Let cool for 5 minutes, then loosen the edge with an offset with a spatula and remove the pizza to a cutting board. Sprinkle with Parmesan cheese and chopped parsley. Pro tips. Put a layer of cheese under the sauce. It prevents the crust from getting soggy and keeps the cheese from over-browning. If you have a convection oven setting on your oven, it's a good time to use it. It'll help the thick crust cook even more evenly. And that's your pizza recipe for the day. Deep dish pizza with spicy sausage and olives.